I want to clarify one thing about Yelp. They are not paying for reviews the way you would think. Say nice things about my restaurant and I will pay for this review. No, what they do is that they grayscale, in my case, fully 50%. So I have about 30 really positive reviews. I think there's 4 negative ones, maybe three. And of course they're genuine because they're negative, and not to be removed. But there's another 35 that are effusive. In fact, my apprentice said to me one time, those are actually good for us because they impute credibility to the others, because the other ones are so glowing they look like they were written by your brother-in-law. So you don't see the whole universe of reviews, because a great deal of the positive ones are grayscaled and put under a topic that you have to search for that says not recommended. On top of that, I know of at least one contractor who's figured out their algorithms and has bullshit reviews. So it's not as if you can trust the ones you do see, because some of them are not. On top of that, a lot of the contractors you see are paying to be there. So you are not seeing an accurate representation of whatever reviews are in the community. You're not seeing an accurate representation of the positive versus the negative, and you're only seeing the contractors or the service providers who are willing to pay. On top of that, I have a smidgen, and I mean a smidgen, of sympathy for this new world, because before you had a subscription to the Detroit Free Press or the Cincinnati Enquirer or the Atlantic Journal Constitution, and now everybody's trying to figure out, how do we make money in this new world? So do we pay for blue checks on Twitter? Do we buy a subscription for reviews, things like that? Well, they're all trying to figure out how to make money. And they have figured out it doesn't pay to ask consumers to pay for a subscription when they want a reference for a good roofer. So they're not going to buy a subscription. And so you see companies like Home Advisor, and before that, it was Service Magic. Then it was Home Advisor, and now it's Angie's List. And they can't get the consumer to buy a subscription like Twitter. So what they do is they churn contractors. We're going to make your life wonderful by being a paid advertiser. And their churn rate is super high because people figure out pretty damn quickly, this ain't a winning recipe for me. And so Yelp is no different. They cannot figure out how to make money, and I don't blame them necessarily. It's a quandary. So what they do is they charge the contractors and churn the contractors, because the homeowner, the consumer, is not going to pay for a subscription. But in the end of the day, you really don't have a fair representation. You really can't trust the accuracy, and they've limited the universe of reviews out there anyway, because you have to pay to be seen. So I really think at the end of the day, it's a miserable company, and they're not what they claim to be. They're not worth it if you're an advertiser. If you have a muffin shop, or you're a roofer or a plumber or an auto mechanic or a lawyer, I really think it's piss poor advertising, and that's why their churn rate is so high. So I hold Yelp in very low regard.